the power of influence and persuasion,
and how our minds can be easily manipulated by others, and if possible, it's best to manipulate them by ourselves and
Yeah.
to choose.
So stick around for this week's episode on Get Real with the English Sisters, Mind, Health and Anxiety Relief. We are therapists and we are here to help you.
We're going to be reading you a short story from another one of our therapeutic books, Entrancing Tales for Change, which that's what they are. They're tales for change. So here goes.
Yes, and it's called butter. Have you ever noticed what happens to butter if you leave it uncovered in the fridge?
It appears normal on the outside. However, when you taste it, it no longer tastes the same.
If left long enough, it will absorb any strong odour coming from other foods close by.
In very much the same way, your mind will absorb, just like butter, many strong influences coming your way.
You may enjoy butter with different flavours very much.
They may indeed add an extra touch.
But then again, you may also prefer to cover your butter.
And to keep it tasting like butter, pure and simple, just as it is.
The choice is yours.
Yeah. The choice is yours if you're aware of it, I might add.
Often we don't have a choice, do we?
Because we're not aware of it.
Yeah, because we're
And
unaware.
we're simply influenced and influenced and influenced and influenced on and on. And I think as adults, we can become more aware of it.
Well, yeah, that's why I decided years and years ago, and I think you did the same, to not to watch the news.
Yeah.
Because it was just called, it should be called bad news.
It should be called bad news indeed.
Because it's basically all bad except for a
Bad
funny
news
story.
manipulation.
Yeah.
Of your brain.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was called that. Here we are, and now good evening. We are going to manipulate you in
And
a way
influence you.
influence you highly. Beware of this.
Yeah, they
And
should
give
have,
you
it should have a
little
warning, shouldn't it?
Yes. And I think then
And
you
if
would
you
know.
absorb all this news, you are going to feel extremely anxious.
And ill, but this is how we may want to keep you.
Yeah, because then you'll
it may be
tune in
convenient
every
for
day.
us for you to be in this state of adrenaline
And
fear,
fear.
and for your mind to be filled with
Because
cortisol.
that's where you'll do what we want you to do.
And it's
Isn't
not.
that frightening? I mean, it's horrific.
It's horrific, yeah. And I think we became aware of that, and probably many of you listening to this are aware of it. But I think sometimes if you think of your mind like a lovely slab of butter, you think, if you want to absorb influences, that's great, because they can add.
But choose, like garlic butter is delicious to me.
Yeah, rosemary butter. There's so many different flavours you can choose from that are going to be good for you. And flavours that you really enjoy. But do you really want to add some yucky flavour to your mind that's not going to be something you're going to be enjoy, but you're just going to absorb it anyway? So it might be some flavour that you actually loathe.
Well, like now I've got some raw sausages in the fridge. They're covered, but they still smell. The fridge smells of garlic and sausages and goodness knows
Which could
what.
be nice.
Which is nice, but do I want sausage flavoured butter for my breakfast with my toast and jam?
Not necessarily.
No, I don't.
No, you
and
don't.
I hate that.
Yeah, me too.
So I keep it covered.
You keep it covered indeed. That's why it comes with that, also with that,
the cover.
The cover, the special...
The butter dish.
The butter dish and the aluminium. I mean, the people that make butter know this about butter.
They do.
It's one of those foods that will absorb odours and flavours really quite quickly. So that's why, you cover it. And the same way, we're so similar to that in a way. We're all so delicate.
We're delicate.
And, can be manipulated.
And we're manipulated so much every day.
Yeah, and we're already...
And we can't... The thing is that if you hear news that something's happened, like what we keep going on and on about, if you hear and you can actually do something about it, like the village, if you're in a little village and you hear that your neighbour's had an accident, you can go and help them, and you can take, or someone's died and you can comfort the person, and you can take, food so they don't have to cook That's lovely.
Yes,
but when
it really
you
is,
have
yeah.
that sense of inertia, that sense of not being able to help, that's when it becomes, you
Because-
become
and it-
anxiety filled.
Yeah,
because you can't do anything about
and
it.
it's all stacked up, isn't it? It's
Oh,
not
so
just one
much.
piece
It's
of news.
so wide. It's the whole world we get.
Exactly, it's everything, and there's so many. So in the end, you don't realize it. You just turn it off, and you don't realize how much has actually been absorbed into your body. Just like the butter, it will be absorbed a lot one day, another day, another day. So, and it can become extremely toxic in the end.
I think so.
And it can become that kind of butter that nobody would want to eat. So you, in the end, can become that person that doesn't know it, but might not be the
Well,
person
they're
you
not-
want
you're
to
not-
be.
You're not your true self, are you?
No.
You've been influenced.
You've absorbed.
You've been like, I don't know, I can't even find words for it. It's a horrific thing.
It is a horrific thing.
Because your whole creativity, everything you would normally be if you didn't have all these external influences, like when you go for a walk in the woods and you suddenly feel that you can breathe. If you're not allergic, obviously. But you feel like, oh, I have time to think and to have space to actually think. But a lot of the times when we don't cover our minds and we absorb all this negativity around us, we just can't function properly.
No, we can't. And a lot of the times we don't even know what we want anymore.
No.
Who we really are. Because what our desires are. Do I really want to get, involved with that person? Do I really need to buy that house? Do I really want that?
Yeah,
Do I
just being influenced.
Or am I just being influenced?
Well,
now,
it's well known that, for instance, if one couple divorce, that a lot of other couples, there's a chain of divorces.
there is indeed, yes.
Or if in your friends group, one of you buys a house, it's quite often that everyone else will start looking to buy a house too. I remember when we first bought our first houses, you bought yours and I bought mine, then all our friends were buying houses. I know it was also the right time, but some of us might have thought, oh no, if we hadn't been
Maybe it's not
influenced,
the right time for me.
Yes, we might have thought it's not the right time for me.
Exactly. And it's the same in everything, really. It's the same like colours. When you were little, you probably tended to like one colour more than another. And then as you grow up, you forget what your favourite colour really is. And you start adopting what fashion says. Oh, so, it's cool if I wear black, and it's cool. I mean, this is funny now because I'm just thinking of my husband. He will always want to go for colours, strong colours, red, orange. And I'm always trying to steer him away from them and saying, no, it's not fashionable. Just go for the black, you look handsome. Go for that classic, the blue and everything. But whenever he gets a chance, he'll wear his little colour. And so that's probably something. And when I actually asked him, what was your favourite colour as a kid? He says red. There's no doubt. He's stuck with that. He loves red. Vibrant,
so does
bright.
red make him feel good?
Yes, it makes him feel very good. When I ever say, okay.
It doesn't make you feel good.
Red or orange.
No. At him.
Because I have been influenced so much by fashion that I want him to be appropriate for certain occasions. I don't want him to go in those strong colours, but I think that...
But do you think those sort of strong colours suit him?
What strong colours?
Well, like red, do you think it suits him?
Yeah, I do quite like him in a red, yes. Yeah, I mean, he's got red polo shirts and things that look quite nice on him, but obviously he has to, it depends on what the occasion is. A lot of the time I am influenced by the occasion, by what fashion dictates.
Yeah.
So I tend to forget what my true colour was as well. I remember drawing always. I think children, they're attracted to brighter colours.
The primary
colours, yellow, orange, red. And then as you grow older, you learn about fashion and what fashion industry wants you to be wearing. And you choose, all the different types of colours. But
like when you go to a colour specialist, they tell you what to wear, don't they? They tell you what colours suit you.
Yeah.
So they're
I
like the
mean,
experts, aren't they?
the colour experts.
Yeah, they'll tell you that like your skin tone matches these colours and that's what makes you look best. They're like the experts.
Yeah. They'll tell you about your
Do you
skin
think they
tone.
influence you?
Of course they do, because they will say to you, well, no.
Yeah, but isn't that a good thing? Because they're like saying things that suit you that are going to make you look good.
Yeah, they tell you what they think may make you look good on the outside, but it doesn't make you feel good on the inside. It's as I was saying about my husband, red, orange makes him feel good on the inside. So we compromise and I say, okay, get that. That's great. You know, you feel good in that. I know he's going to feel good in orange and red.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, you know, unless it's something I really care about, like, you know, the weddings or something, you know, something important that I really want to put my foot down. I say, no, let's go for the classical, you know, darker colours for men. But he doesn't want those colours. And, and I know
It's
that
a shame, really, isn't
they
it?
won't make him feel good.
But does he actually feel good when he looks in the mirror in
Yeah,
those
he loves
colours?
them. He'll go for them.
He will.
It's just something natural. He will just pick up, you know, if we're in a shop, he'll always go for the brighter colours, you know, the bright green, bright things, and he's happy. I can see him. I take him. We go shopping and I see these are the colours he goes for, and I compromise and I say, great, you know, let's get that bright orange sweatshirt. And then, you know, you can wear it for maybe for work or something, you know. And so I manipulate him, and I know I do.
You influence him.
I do. I influence him a lot. And because I do, yeah, I'm guilty of that. And I think a lot of women are.
I know.
Evil grin. But I think it's important for us to know, you know, if that's a minor thing and he's aware of it. He's very much aware of it. So
He knows that you
okay.
like the darker colours, though, doesn't he? So he's
He
happy to
knows
wear them
that-
for you.
Yes, he's happy to wear them. He actually says, what do you want me to wear then? Like yesterday we had the wedding rehearsal. He just said, what do you want me to wear? You just tell me what you want me to wear.
What you think I
What
look
you
good
think.
in.
And I let him choose the shoes.
Which were rather odd. And everybody commented on them,
And-
including my husband.
But that was a compromise. You see,
Yeah.
he chose a bright coloured shoe. And I said, fine, you know, you go for the shoe because I'm not going to be like, you know, I don't have to tell you everything. I knew it wasn't that important for like yesterday. So it was okay. But
it was funny how even another man
Yes.
commented on it.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
it was
mean.
like
He will go for
something
strong.
out of order.
yeah, because he wants these strong, bright colours. That's who he is.
Well, he was right. He didn't.
He
you know,
didn't
he
care.
covered his butter.
He did cover it and he kept his choice. And I don't want to influence him in completely everything because I don't want to remove that joyful colour. You know, before he used to buy all these different colourful shoes. Do you remember? How many would he have? All different colours,
Well, the
stripes.
shoes are quite cute. I mean, I wouldn't have anything against the shoes. Except that they were making his feet hurt because they
Yeah.
were flat-footed
Those,
shoes.
yeah, the flat-footed shoes, yeah. But,
But apart from that, they used to look quite nice, I think.
yeah, that was who he was. And he can't express himself through those shoes anymore because they would hurt his legs and his back
Yeah.
because they were just too flat, you know, the classical flat shoes.
Yeah, like the plimsoll type.
Yeah, the little
Plimsoll type.
plimsolls, yeah, like
The
without,
canvas shoes.
yeah, the canvas shoes. Anyway, so he was. That's who he is. And I think who I am now, I wouldn't really know colour-wise. I mean, I know I love turquoise, but I wouldn't necessarily wear it because I know that it's maybe not in at the moment. So we're
I'm having a bit of a
influenced
dilemma with our bedroom because I keep changing my mind on what colour to do it.
because you're influenced by what colour is in fashion at the moment.
Yes. And also, yeah. I mean,
It-
also for clothes as well, like for our daughter's wedding, I'm thinking, 1 minute I'm thinking of one colour, then I'm thinking of another, then I'm thinking, is it suitable? So
Yeah.
what I would actually choose, I'm not that sure.
No.
It's a difficult choice because you're influenced by seeing so many, you know, mother
All
of the
the-
brides,
Yeah.
what they wear, that you're thinking,
Yeah.
what should I wear? You know, short or long or
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do I
That's
really
just-
want? What
yeah,
do you
what
really
do I
want?
really want? I'd have to look and just go inside and see what I really wanted, but I'm not really sure.
Because you're frightened of judgment.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because of what's appropriate.
What's appropriate, indeed.
And what isn't.
And what isn't. So, I mean, I think that's something that if we want to conform and we want to comply and we want to be fashionable, that's fine, because we're aware of it and we can allow our butter dish to be lifted off, and absorb the influences of what's around us, because we want to conform to society and to fashion, and we want to be accepted, as to say, by the what society dictates. I mean, it sounds very Bridgerton-y, but I don't know how far.
Well, all the Bridgerton colours are
Yes,
in now,
I
aren't they?
don't
All
know
the long gowns. I mean, we are influenced by...
It's always the same, really.
Yeah.
It hasn't really changed that much, except, I think we're far from it, but we're not really. We still are influenced.
We're just one step away, I think, from that.
By the majority and gossip and everything else. So I think if we're aware of it, in some cases, that's fine. That's okay. But in other cases, I think we have to be a little bit mindful of it, like with certain news and certain information, and like what, we were saying before we podcasted, even certain people are going to influence you negatively. Those people that always make you feel worse when you leave them. Yes, exactly.
Is it time to, kind of say, we're
cover
going to
your
limit,
dish and
cover
say,
out, we're going to cover.
I want to cover my, my butter and just keep myself protected, as to say, because with people
because
as well,
there are those people that just offload everything onto you, and then they feel fine and they feel happy when they leave and all smiley, and you're feeling like,
what's happened?
SHIT.
My
I feel
flavor
terrible now.
My flavor is gone. I don't know who I am anymore. What am I? And you're thinking, what the hell has happened to me? You have been influenced. And it's not, you don't find yourself to be, a calm, happy person. You feel different and you think, oh dear.
Yeah, it's not me, really.
It's not me. Who am I? I think that's why a lot of people that are a bit introverted, they need time
to realise who they are.
Yeah, to cover their own butter and to think, who am I really? Who am I? How am I naturally? Am I okay? Am I, without looking at my phone, without listening, without putting the telly, just going about my day, maybe putting some music on, how would I really be?
But even with music, you're influenced.
You are influenced with music as well.
It can make you feel good. It can make you feel bad, sad, happy.
Yeah.
So maybe just a mindful exercise would just be quiet for a bit and just go about quietly around.
And that can be a bit scary for some people, especially nowadays.
I mean, I remember once we were in the car. This is funny. My husband and I, and then our son came, grown up now. He's in his late 20s. He sat in the back and he goes, "Mum and Dad, this is really freaky. What's going on?" I go, "What do you mean, what's going on?" He goes, "You're driving in absolute silence. Both of you. It's so unsettling." And I go, "Why?" I go, "We always do this. Not always, but often. We're just calm and quiet and just looking at this, driving along and just looking at the scenery. And then every now and again we'll have a little chat." And he said, "It's so weird, Mum." And it made me realise how comfortable we were actually just being quiet, both of us, just quiet in our own thoughts.
In quietness.
Yes, without having, it's a bit like Bridgerton when they just sit quietly, the couple. Have you seen that one?
I can't.
There's a scene when they're just quietly, happily sitting together, and then
I can't remember.
And then they find that they fall in love like that because both of them are introverts. They don't really want to talk about anything. They just want to be.
I remember it now.
They just want to be together, and that's what we were doing. But he was finding it very unsettling. I said, "Okay, we'll put some music on if you want."
Yeah, because obviously he was thinking, "What's going on?" I'm. Like, he was in the back. It's unusual he didn't have his earpods on or something.
Well, no, because he obviously was thinking we're having
it's a family occasion. We'll be talking.
And we were
Yeah.
just all quite. Well, we probably thought he had his earpods on. That's why we weren't talking to him.
Exactly.
Because normally we would have probably talked to him, or maybe occasionally. But yeah, it's unusual now for you just to go about your thoughts. And I often do just go around the house like without. Sometimes I'll listen to podcasts, but
Podcasts, yeah.
sometimes I just go quiet. Like when I do my morning routine of all my makeup, I don't listen to anything. I'm just quiet with my own mind. with
Yeah,
my own
I'm
thoughts.
quiet in that as well. Like I was noticing today because I was at home, I actually did, got prepared and everything in quietness. But then afterwards, when I actually went downstairs for breakfast, I put a podcast on, and I was listening to that. But sometimes it is nice to just be quiet and just think about nothing really.
Or just let your mind daydream.
Just
and
look,
wonder.
just look outside. I saw these pink blossoms on the little tree you gave us. They were lovely. And I was just noticing them, and then I decided to put the podcast on, But then I became influenced by what I was listening to.
Yes, that's what happens. Sometimes it's
you're
a good
aware
thing
of
because
it.
you can
Yeah, you're
become
learning,
aware and
you're
you're
learning,
learning new stuff and just it, and it's helpful. But sometimes it's not. So I think it's really up to you to decide whether to cover your butter or not.
Absolutely. The choice
Isn't it?
really
The
is.
choice is
now
yours
as
once you're
adults,
aware.
Yeah,
as
because
adults, yeah.
as children, obviously,
We don't have a choice.
You don't have that choice. You are influenced by your parents.
And
your
then
parents'
I've
choices.
just thought about relationships as well. When you're in a couple with somebody, a lot of the times you get influenced by what they want and you don't
You
even
forget
know.
what-
You forget who you even are sometimes.
Yeah, you can forget.
You can forget who you are and what you want. So it is important for couples as well to spend that time apart and just to be able to think, who am I? If I wasn't with this person.
Yeah, that's so very true.
And then you can bring who you are
And
into
you can
the couple.
blend it, and
And
you
yeah,
can have
yeah.
that new flavour, that new
Yeah.
taste, which is both of you
It's
together.
more exciting.
And it's more exciting, but it's going to be a different
But if you
flavour.
find that you are being completely, your flavour has gone and overwhelmed, maybe it's time to look at your relationship and maybe go to counselling or whatever, or just take a break, or just
take a break,
decide,
or just become a little bit more assertive with your choices, and
just
to
say,
begin
no,
to
I
think,
want to do this.
is that my choice? Do I really like whatever it is, or have I become so influenced by the other person?
Sometimes it can be a form of laziness as well, because you can be so tired and overwhelmed as well that you just don't even want to make decisions anymore. So if your partner's really decisive and says, hey, let's go and do this,
Yes.
you'll just go and do it, because you can't even be bothered, kind of thing, to think about mentally what you really
like.
want.
Yes.
But that he might or she might want to go off, or they might want to go off and do something that you are absolutely not into at the moment. And you might, if you get in touch with yourself, you might say, no, actually, I want to keep my butter covered and I just actually want to stay in tonight.
That's
You
actually
go out.
A good point, because I was talking to a work colleague, and he was saying that his wife, every time they went on holiday, his wife had to go and see all the churches.
Oh, dear.
And I said, is she a very religious person? And he said, not really, but it's just like,
It's part of the tourist thing.
yeah, it's like, no, you have to go and see every single church, every single cathedral. And and he was just like confessing, I actually don't like it. It's okay to just see one, but I don't enjoy that. So I said, well, how long has this been going on for? And he said, 27 years. And I thought, goodness me, 27 years you've been doing this every year on your holidays. Well, what do you want to do? And he actually said, I have no idea.
That's curious, isn't it?
I go, what kind of holiday would you like? And he said, he just shrugged his shoulders. He said, I don't know. And I said, maybe you can take the time to think about it. Think about what you like. And
it sounds so funny.
it's so ridiculous, but you think, what do you like?
Do you want to maybe wait outside the church and sit on a bench and think, what do you actually want to do next? And then compromise and go to 3 or 4 churches.
That's what I said.
And then the rest of the time go to your favourite, I don't know, park or restaurant or whatever you
like
want
doing?
to do.
Like I told him, I go, I like going on the
Coffee.
beach, and I like going to coffee shops, and I just want to be like turista per casa, like just browsing around. I don't want to follow all the rules. I know I won't like that.
Turista per caso. I
I
think
don't
for our
know.
English
It's-
audience.
Sorry?
What does that mean in English?
It's just like blah, blah, just floating around. If I happen to see something, I will see it and I will but because obviously I'm a tourist, I'm in a new area. So if I see something lovely.
If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't.
Well, it's not necessarily true because when I did go to Thailand, I did go to the famous, temples.
Yeah, but that
and
was years and years ago. Would you do that now?
Probably go to one and then go and see some gardens, for example, like what I like.
Yes.
Like when I went to Japan, I didn't want to go and see all the things. I went to Kyoto because I know that's where they've got the beautiful gardens. And that's something I was really interested in, for example. But in Italy, I enjoy going to the beaches and just eating the pizza. But when I asked him, I very much know what I want, especially on a holiday.
Well, I do know what I
Well,
want.
you certainly know what you want. But when you
I
have
don't
a
want
partner
churches.
that's very strong like us in knowing what they want, many of the times the other person may just be a follower and just say,
They just follow on, don't they? They
yeah.
tag on. But doesn't mean that sometimes they are happy because
happy.
they're happy
When
to make you happy.
Happy, yeah. When I said, "Are you happy?" he said, "My God, it was a killer." He said, "I'm actually more tired now than I was when I left.
Well, yeah.
And I prefer to be here at work." And I thought, oh dear.
That's not a good sign.
I mean, it's lovely that you enjoy your work,
No,
but because your work is the most part of your life. But at the same time, make sure that you do get something you really enjoy doing when you're actually on your break.
But that does happen a lot when you're in a couple, when you just settle for things because it makes your partner happy. But then sometimes, yes, it's good, but then resentment can build up.
Yes, I noticed signs of resentment in his voice. Yes.
If you actually really are happy in your heart of hearts to do that because
That's lovely.
and you kind of thrive off that happiness
The
of
joy
seeing your partner so
yeah.
delighted. It's like when you give a lovely gift to someone and you're really happy because you want that person to really enjoy the gift.
And the person receives it to the full. And you
when
as the giver.
when you're not really wanting to give a gift,
you wonder at
you
times.
wonder what happened.
Well, anyway, I think he will be thinking about what he really likes now. And probably if I ask him again in a couple of days, he'll probably come up with something that really is him. Yes. And I know that. I know that's what happens when you are allowed some space. And like what I suggested, perhaps a compromise. I'm sure your wife will compromise with you because she's a lovely person. She
probably just thinks she has to go and do that because it's on her agenda. She's
been influenced. She's very, very sticks to the map.
Because she's been influenced, though. If she hadn't known she had to go and see all those churches, she might not have gone to all of them. If no one says when you're a tourist you go and visit churches,
that's what you have to do. Yes, yeah. Maybe
because
you're right.
I noticed, for instance, your husband when we were on holiday together, he was very influenced by the sights he had to see, and he felt a great deal of pressure if he didn't go and see them all.
Yeah.
Whereas
I'm not bothered.
We were just enjoying the beaches and the coffee and the food and just the general atmosphere. But I didn't really mind if I didn't go and see the famous. Maybe the opposite. I didn't want to go and see the famous sites because I knew that they were full of touristy people and I wanted to be enjoying the local flavors.
When we went to Cyprus, he said, "Oh, let's go there because that's." So, and I was saying, what is that? The Aphrodite rock. It was beautiful, I just wanted to sort of stumble into it, just go for that walk and find it. And not have to do it.
Just a surprise of seeing something.
And we did see it by surprise in the end because we went for a lovely walk.
That's how I remember when I first came to Rome. We just went for walks in the centre and it was the most beautiful experience of my life.
Me too. I didn't really
Because you just absorb the city in its own and you would just stumble across like the Fontana di Trevi or the Colosseum without even realising you were in that area.
Yeah, because it's small, so you just walk and you browse and you have one coffee and then you walk around and And then you have lunch, and then all of a sudden you're there. Yeah, my
All of a
husband,
sudden we came. I
he
remember
worked
walking
at
into the
Fontana
Pantheon.
di Trevi. So one day he just said, come and meet me at work. And I was just like, what? You work, like his office was 1 meter away from where the actual Fontana is.
Yeah, the
And
Trevi Fountain.
Yeah, and he just came down and we went for a coffee, then we went for lunch, and I thought, God, you've got a long lunch break. He said, oh yeah, it's fine. You know, this is fine. I can, you know, I'm flexible. I thought, wow, you know, this is lovely.
Well, anyway.
So, yes, being influenced and not being influenced. If you choose it, it's fine. But I think if you become a little bit aware of it, you know, it can be really good for you.
So let us know what you think, and please do come and leave a message on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. We're trying to grow it even further.
Yes, we are.
And we are so happy to read your comments on Instagram too, or TikTok, or wherever you go. You'll find us.
Yeah, so
there.
please do leave them, because we
leave them.
really appreciate
We really
them.
appreciate
do
hearing
enjoy
from
it,
you and
yeah.
hearing about your experiences too. It's really
Yeah.
nice. So lots of love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye.